Yo, we just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's at the shore fine. Winter ready on the four ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George Mackay, and my PIC in podcasting, the one and only Michelle Arujo, the voice of reason.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Ringside 5, another one in the can. We're coming up with like episode number 10, so congratulations on that.
Oh my God, yeah.
I never thought we'd get to 10.
Really? You
No,
didn't
I
think
absolutely
so?
did. I absolutely did.
Come on,
I knew
have a
we
little
did.
faith, George Michael.
Have a little faith in me. No.
Oh, now I want to watch Arrested Development.
Okay. You know, speaking of that song, not the George Michael song, but that song, Faith, like, have a little faith, like that song. You ever
Yeah.
heard that song? So one day I was watching my best friend's girl, Dane Cook, Jason Biggs,
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
and that song's in that movie, right in like the revelation part where he realizes that he shouldn't have done what he did to his best friend. So he ruins Kate Hudson's sister's wedding, like near the end of the movie.
What a shit disturber.
Tell you, right? The best part of that scene though is when he's like, "Bet you were a little hot minx there, eh, mama?" And he's talking to Kate Hudson's mom, and she leans over. She's like, "You bet your sweet ass I was." She's like, "Nice. Are we gonna do this?" And he just pulls down his pants, and he's like, "It's not gonna suck itself, mama." Oh yeah, hilarious.
That's crazy. He should meet up with the mom from Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kitty cat?
Were they built for speed or were they built for
You
comfort?
motorboating son of a bitch.
Getting jacked off under the table. The whole family was watching. Well, that's banter aside. But yeah, anyways, so
Amazing.
I watched that movie, and then
Yes.
I watched Look Who's Talking Now.
Oh,
And that song again is in that scene when John Travolta is seeing his career slowly die as he's going to the cab where his wife and 2 children and 2 dogs are.
amazing. I
And
mean, not amazing, but
the dog comes back limping with John Travolta, and all you hear is, "When the road gets dark, you can only find the line. Have a little faith in me." See? It's powerful. Powerful song. It really should have been an Oscar contender. Yeah. Absolutely. It should have been that song and the song from Karate Kid 2. I am the man who will fight for your honor.
oh man.
Side note, one of those songs did win an Oscar. It was not the first one. It was the second one, believe it or not. Karate Kid, it's actually hilarious when you watch a Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
Or you buy, like, I have the box set, like the DVD box set
Ooh,
of all
that's
3.
cool.
Actually,
Yeah.
all 4. Even has a new Karate Kid with Hilary Swank, which is not good. But it has all 4 of those movies, and it even says Oscar winner of 2 Oscars.
Oh.
And you sit there and you think, wow, like the Karate Kid won an Oscar, and then you realize it was best song and best film editing.
Yes.
And you're like,
Mhm.
oh, director didn't win. Ralph Macchio wasn't even considered as lead actor.
That's unfortunate.
Zapka wasn't in the sequel. So we had no Johnny Lawrence. Like, it was just fell flat in so many different ways. We went back to Okinawa, and we got a little bit of the history of Pat Moriarty's character.
A little bit. Now I'm reminiscing because Cobra Kai, the
It
show
just ended.
finished,
Yeah, it
right?
just ended.
So
And it just ended, but everybody seems like so over the top happy in the ending. I'm like, oh, you guys suck. Where's all the emo kids that were outcasts and all the angst? I wanted like the whole world to blow
you
up.
can't. No, you got to wrap it up in a nice little bow and finish it like that. Like it can't, right? Because if the story started with them learning 2 different karate styles and that's why they clashed, it's beautiful to see that they ended with like combining those 2 karate styles and like becoming friends and you know?
Hmm. You just cut one hell of a convincing promo, and it was so convincing that I segued it perfectly. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is the top 5 favorite promos of your Ringside 5 crew. Michelle Arujo and I have picked through what we believe to be the plethoras of our top 5. And again, this is all opinion based. So if you don't agree with our top 5, we've been telling everyone forever, hit us up, get in the DMs, get into the comment on YouTube. If it's a decent comment where it doesn't insult or like hurt anyone, I will put it up there. But if you're just the keyboard warrior that sits behind his couch in his mom's base room eating ice cream, like, pound fucking sand. I'm not going to put comments when you're like, you're an idiot. Okay, well, I'm up here doing stuff. You're not, so blow me. Yeah, twice.
Anyway,
Didn't know where to go with that, eh?
yeah, I didn't know how to respond. I felt
Well, you could have jumped in on the angst part.
no.
I
Well, you know
can't be
what?
I can't
In
be
my
Eagle Fang, and you can't be like Mr. Miyagi.
in my in my opinion, honestly, I will leave those comments because I don't need to do
Justify.
anything. No, no, no. Rotten fruit falls by itself.
Oh, oh, wow. Michelle called everyone out there in the internet low-hanging fruit. I agree.
I said
I agree.
rotten fruit, not low
Yeah, but
hanging.
usually when
There's
it's
a
rotten, it is
difference.
low-hanging.
Well,
Yeah. A lot of people that I work with are low-hanging fruit. So that's shoot job. Bling. Hey. All right. Anyways, back to pro wrestling, and we have picked through a top 5. Michelle this week has the daunting task of 1, 3, and 5, whereas I got to coast with a 2 and 4. I feel that the 2 and 4 does get away with a lot because a lot less research is needed to be done for 2 and 4. 2 and 4 just kind of has to be able to fill in the gaps between the ultimate selections, which is 5, 3, and 1. We saw how crucial 5 was on our inaugural episode.
yeah.
We talked about feuds. Kevin Federline was number 5, and it was a huge way to kick off the show. As our inaugural pilot episode, we touched on the ultimate heel in the world, not just pro wrestling, Kevin Federline. And I think it was a huge success. Papui and all that stuff. We went down that
Papooey.
Papui. Went down that rabbit hole of everything.
Did he say papooey or was that you? Because I just want to make it clear it's papoose.
Is it Papoose?
It's
Okay. I always thought it was Papui because if it was Papoose, it reminds me of the rapper Papoose, who I love.
yeah, that's who I thought you were talking about.
But it's not. It's
Oh,
not. Okay. Well,
then
I don't know why he named the song
lost-
Papoose, but if he named it to get street cred and try to like beef with Papoose the rapper, he would have lost.
definitely lost in
Come
translation.
on,
Like, I
Law
don't-
Library, Fire, Volumes 1. I think he did what, 4 or 5 parts?
Honestly, the whole catalog. That guy's great.
Yeah, the A to Z. Yeah, solid. Also, yeah, you're right. Cheers to the catalog that is Papoose.
Oh.
Papoose catalog. There we go.
Cheers.
Coffee culture. All right. So 5 is coming up, and this is a big one. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to set up the promo and then play the promo, or do you want to play the promo and then you want to talk about it? Since you're 1, 3, and 5, I'll let you. Dealer's choice. Your call.
I say, you know what, play a bit of the promo, then we can break it down a little bit, move on. And that way everybody can get a little understanding of like what, we saw, and then we can explain ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the first 5 minutes of this episode, we couldn't really. We talked a lot. We talked about look who's talking. It was just all.
Yeah,
over the
I
place.
apologize for all that. I'm so sorry.
It's we get into the mode of banter. I don't think we need to apologize. And if they're
It's
listening
still
to the
like
show,
we just
but if they're listening to the show, they understand that there's going to be banter.
I hope so.
I mean, have a little faith in me.
How did you get us back there?
It's really that easy. All right.
Ridiculous.
All right.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Michelle's number 5.
Yes.
And this promo is something that wrestling fans, I've even said it in a few episodes.
That's
So,
why I chose it. I was like, how fitting is this?
You've got to choose this
Yeah.
one. So this is from 1992, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm going to say. Enjoy the minute and a half we're going to play this promo, and hopefully we get to the part before we have to say goodbye. But this is a short promo. But you're gonna, and also while the promo is playing, if you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna see our reactions. It's gonna be iconic.
All right, by virtue of winning the Royal Rumble, we have a brand new World Wrestling Federation champion as the press watches on. At this time, to present the title belt to the new champion, our president, the distinguished Jack Tunney.
Congratulations, Ric Flair, on becoming the undisputed champion of the World Wrestling Federation.
Let me just say, after Vito distorting the belt, they're proclaiming the real world champion. I'm going to tell you all, with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life. When you walk around this world and you tell everybody you're number one, the only way you get to stay number one is to be number one. And this is the only title in the wrestling world that makes you number one. When you are the king of the WWE, you rule the world. Think about it like that, Mr. Perfect.
Guys,
With a tear in my eye.
I mean, how iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He enters the Royal Rumble at number 3. And lasts just, I think, just over 60 minutes or 60 minutes or just thereabouts.
Mm-hmm. Since then, the record
Um,
has been broken, but this was
yes.
a record for quite some time, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, this happened in 1992, right? So there's been a lot of time happening since then.
A lot of time, a lot of hair.
Oh, yeah, that was my first thought that like Ric Flair looks great. He looks great. But, this is also forever ago. But
Forever.
I mean, listen, I was born in 1991, so me saying 1992 was forever ago really isn't, that really bad.
She always has to throw that out there. She always
Oh
has
my
to throw
God.
that out there. I was born in 1991. Okay, so I was born in 83. So what's your point?
I was just saying.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm a little sensitive about that. I'm over 40, okay? It sucks. It sucks. You're gonna get there sooner than later.
Yeah, I will, but let me bide my time over here. Let me enjoy it.
Okay, fine, you can enjoy it.
But I just thought that it set kind of that blueprint between tying in reality to a promo. We all know that like a great storyline, a great anything to do in this business needs to involve like that emotional attachment, not only from the person speaking, but like from the audience. That's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to pull on their emotions, whether it's their good emotions or their bad ones. You're trying to pull on those bitches. And and to start the promo by saying like, with a tear in my eye, this is like the greatest accomplishment. Like this is the greatest thing ever. And then, I mean, they kind of rant off. They do the whole bunch of woos. They do I told you so. Like, it's very celebratory, but I just thought it kind of set the tone and the blueprint for like how a promo should be kind of set up because it was very in the moment, right? It's right after the match. So you're coming off that adrenaline. So you can definitely see and feel it. But they all kind of managed to still stay and steer that ship on home, even though
And
it was a
people
little
forget,
chaotic.
and people forget that these are live cut promos. These aren't pre-recorded.
Yeah,
promos.
yeah, yeah.
This was during pay-per-view. So this is right after the Rumble match. He goes back and he cuts that promo
Yeah.
immediately with Jack Tunney. And I mean, even with Jack Tunney to say the undisputed champion, that was,
Yes.
I believe, one of the first times I ever actually heard that phrase in professional wrestling.
I think so.
And this was, we know what's cool about this promo too, is that this was one of the few times where Ric Flair did not book himself as champion. So this is a true championship win, a true title reign. And this is also when he was like very like against NWA and WCW because they had screwed him over. So he went over to the WWE for a bit because he was the hot thing and he wanted to really rule professional wrestling. And then WWE booked him kind of right in the beginning, but then it fell flat near the end of that run, and that's how he ultimately gets back to WCW. But regardless, I mean, yeah, with a tear in my eye, and it's a synonymous promo. It's like this promo, Space Mountain, limousine riding, jet flying. Like he coined a lot of phrases, just
Yeah.
like again, Dusty Rhodes as well, which I'm surprised that neither of us have a Dusty Rhodes promo.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah, like I
right?
mean, son of a plumber, it's great. Those old school promos definitely did lay the groundwork for the modern promo. And you're right, this is one of the first promos that I can remember, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, where we actually got to hear like the real emotion from someone. He wasn't being Ric Flair at that moment when he said tear in my eye. I believe he was being Ric Flair the man, not Ric Flair the professional wrestler. I think that was genuine emotion when he's like with a tear in my eye, because this is not somebody who was supposed to be in WWE, let alone win the ship. So kind of a cool, I guess, juxtaposition there. If you will.
Yeah, I just think that moment was great because again, he's coming right from the match. So there's again all that adrenaline. He has all these emotions, right? Like I think we've seen it throughout the ages of wrestling that when someone wins a title, there's a lot of times where you do see emotion behind it. Like you do see that little bit of like, oh my God, like this is really happening because they're in the moment. And then you go backstage and you got to cut a promo or you got to have an interview. So you got to make sure that you're also on your P's and Q's for that too. So just the fact that he's juggling all of that. And like we know Ric Flair back in those days. So kudos to you, Mr. Flair.
Yeah, juggling, mimosas and
Women and
burritos and Caesars and women and jet flying, limousine riding, being ridden in the
wheeling
limousine.
and dealing.
Oh
and,
yeah,
styling and
Rolexes,
profiling.
$1,000 suits, baby. Yeah, you know what? This, and even like, I look at some like the classic guys who weren't really like the big time main eventers, but they coined the promos or coined phrases. Like Ted DiBiase is one of the early guys I can remember him actually having a legitimate phrase, which everybody's got a price for the $1 million man. Like it's iconically genius. So kudos on number 5, solid. And see, this is now pressure filled, right? Because I have to show and prove for number.
That there was something better than that.
And I think I may have found it. And this was in the only 4 years later, really. 1996. We're getting a changing of the guard. We're getting a changing of the attitude. We're getting real. And we're getting the biggest heel turn of professional wrestling up until that point. That's right. The ultimate babyface, Hulk Hogan, has turned heel, Bash the Beach. He was the third man. And now this is the first promo that the NWO is cutting together for the first time. So check it out. Soak it in. Revelation. And remember the beginning of every NWO promo. That voice was so fucking iconic.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
You know, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
People are wondering who's going to be next. Don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah, it's invitation only there, chicos.
Well, you talk about the money. You talk about beating people up. Well, it's a new world order, and I hope it's okay because there's nothing you can do about it.
That's right. Power, fame, money, and now our own corporation.
You know, think about it. NWO. We're new. We're taking over World Championship Wrestling, and we're giving all the orders.
It's the new way. Is that okay, Billionaire Ted?
You don't like it? Come and fight. Is WCW even going to fight, or we're just going to take it?
We make the choices. Wait for the call.
Oh, God. It's so iconic. So, I mean, and the reason why I chose this promo is I don't know if you've been watching. Have you been watching LFG?
No, Sasha told me about it. It's on my list. So I'm gonna take my opportunity on vacation to like catch up on stuff.
Absolutely. But so the most recent episode, they had Eazy-E, Eric Bischoff.
Okay.
And Mr. Whitman or Waltman, Sean Waltman, X-Pac.
Oh, yes.
X-Pac or Six with the 2 X's, borderline, whatever. The only person, he's a double Hall of Famer because he was in 2 distinct factions.
Oh, yes, that's
so he's
right.
a Hall of Famer for the NWO, and he's a Hall of Famer for D-Generation X.
But not for himself.
Not for himself. No, I don't really see X-Pac getting a Hall of Fame, and also the 1, 2, 3 kid not getting a Hall of Fame. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was great. Those early matches with Razor Ramon for the bag full of money, those were iconic. Those were great matches. But yeah, he's not. He's good in a group, not good on his own. But
Sometimes
anyway,
you got to play tambourine, man.
we've talked about that. The tambourine and the triangle, the cowbell. We've talked about all these supporting instruments. We have talked about them quite, and you can always go through the archives of everything that is Ringside 5. So when you talk about, though, like introducing, and this is what Eric Bischoff touched on, and that's why I respect the guy so much. And I don't know if you know this, but I had a conversation with him on
Oh
Straight
my
Talk
God,
Wrestling.
did you?
I did, yeah.
No way.
It's one of my highest rated episodes, like almost close to 5,000 views now.
Amazing.
Yeah, Eric Bischoff hit him up on Twitter, and he actually responded, and I got him on the show. And Straight Talk ends tomorrow. That would be a highlight conversation for me.
Nice.
For sure. But I got to pick his brain. We never really talked about this promo, and it's a shame, but I didn't want to hold him up too long. But he mentioned it in almost every interview that he's done, and also mentioned in LFG, recent episode. A promo should introduce someone, intrigue someone, and make you want more. And I think that's what this promo did. When the Outsiders came in, we ultimately all thought it was WWE trying to invade WCW. What we didn't realize is that it was WCW getting kind of a virus implanted into them, and they were being infiltrated from the inside out, pretty much. And making Hulk Hogan the ultimate, the third man, aka the ultimate bad guy at the time, the heel. Like, he got so much heat back then, it was ridiculous. They were throwing like beer, and they were throwing like garbage. They were throwing all kind, like every Nitro ended with that ring just being a disaster. I would hate to be the guy that had to clean up that ring.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
not
sucks.
fun.
Absolutely sucks. But this promo was intriguing because it introduces the NWO. They still don't tell you why they're there. Who's next? Don't worry. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Yeah, I love that.
And even like taking shots at the Razor Ramon character by throwing out the word Chico, which is synonymous with that character.
Yeah.
So these little digs, and then is that okay, Billionaire Ted, which makes you wonder, hold on, I thought these are contracted wrestlers in WCW. So do they work for Ted Turner? Hold on. What are they like this? This promo did blur the lines, but it also intrigued you and it pulled you in, which is ultimately what a promo is. And again, going credit from that Ric Flair promo, giving you that little bit of realism, kind of letting the curtain slip away, but then closing the curtain abruptly. This peeled the curtain back, but it peeled the curtain back to another curtain, which is super cool. Yeah.
Inception.
So dreidel spinning aside, this was one of my all-time favorite promos. I remember watching this promo after Bash at the Beach. I remember watching the following Nitro, and this was the promo that came out. And they didn't even have the shirts yet. The NWO shirt wasn't there. The logo had just kind of been revealed. So this would go on to be the iconic, shirt of all shirts that would go on to sell a crap ton of merchandise. So, and Kevin Nash hit it on the head. Money, power, fame, and now our own corporation. So it introduced the New World Order, but it also made you wonder what their intentions are. It left a lot of questions on the table, and it didn't give too many answers. But it made you want to tune in the next week to find out more. So, I mean, I love this promo. So, what do you think of number 4, and who do you got for number 3?
So I think number 4 was pretty solid. I think you hit it right on the head right there at the end, that like it gave you everything that, especially an opening promo, like a first promo is supposed to give you. You see, okay, you're like, okay, there's 3 people. We know who they are. We already kind of know a little bit. They didn't give us too much. But now we're like, okay, so what are they doing here? And what's their MO?
What's the end game?
Yeah. Right. So I thought that was really cool. For number 3, I was trying to figure out a cool way to segue, but my brain is on autopilot.
Well, you can go with here. I will, since I am
the segue king. Yeah,
the segue king. And we go from NWO being introduced to someone introducing their frustrations about still not being able to main event a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Somebody whose literal opportunity was stolen from him. And we also wanted to go with something, or Michelle wanted to go with something a little bit more relevant to our time period now. And it's great that out of all the promos in pro wrestling history, even the promos by this individual, which have been literally named as some of the best promos ever, 2 words, pipe bomb.
I mean, he doesn't call himself the best in the world.
True.
For nothing,
True.
Right.
So do you want to set this up? Go ahead, set this clip.
Sure. So I just want to set it up by like every other promo that we've chosen has happened quite some time ago. Maybe a healthy amount of time ago. This one literally happened weeks ago. Like literally weeks ago, Monday, March 3rd, to open up Raw. We did have somebody, CM Punk, let's just name him now. He aired some dirty laundry, and it's not like it's not like him, right? Like pipe bomb, you said it, right?
Yeah.
So for this to happen,
he was more, I want to say, more targeted. The pipe bomb was targeted, but it had innuendos. This was just flat out,
I think,
calling out people.
I think I actually wrote it in my notes. Do you guys remember that song Control by Big Sean? And Kendrick is on it. And Kendrick's verse, he just disses everybody. And he's like, I'm coming for all of you. He names people. Go back and listen to it, specifically his part. I think it's at the end of the song that he has his verse. I haven't listened to it in a little bit, but like, anyway.
What else are you going to put at the end?
But he does. He calls out so many people. He names them out and he says, I'm coming for all of you. And he's basically, in the song, he's just saying like, you guys are good in rap. I think you're good in rap, and I want to go toe to toe with you. And I'm comparing it to this, which I'm going to call the pipe bomb 2.0.
Okay,
because he really was like, I'm coming for all of you. He came for everybody.
He had a bride hit list. Yeah, you're right. He built it up. He had a bride hit list.
So without a further amount of time, let's play a little clip of this bad boy.
I got to rewind it to the beginning so that we can hear Michelle's favorite line.
Yay!
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud. Jeez. You think Because you're on the board of directors, you're immune from criticism? Well, you don't know who you're dealing with. You are dealing with the best in the world. Middle-aged and crazy, walked back into the WWE after 10 years and literally marched through hell to receive opportunities at the big dance. And you, Mr. Midlife Crisis, just decide to walk in when you feel like it and hide behind the fact that you think you're a bigger star than everybody here. I would love to say all of this to your face, but you have not graced us with your presence to do your bullshit, to hit your arm, to pretend that you care about this business that gives you goosebumps. I have never been so delusional. I have never been so desperate to wear a fake title.
Damn, boy went off, dude.
I have never been more desperate to wear a fake
been
title.
So desperate to
That's
wear
such a nice fake title, though. That
and
People's Championship is
proclaim
fine.
myself the People's Champion because I don't deserve it.
Segue.
I earn it. I have never
Look
been
at that
so
guy.
desperate
That guy's
to
in.
sell my soul. And that brings me to you, John Cena.
Ooh.
You can't see me? Well, now we can all see through you. You stole something from me in the Elimination Chamber. A match that after 20 years of hustle, loyalty, and respect, I gave you the benefit of the doubt when you didn't qualify. I thought what you did in the past secured your future. You're not gonna fool me twice. Hustle, loyalty, and respect for 20 plus years, and now everybody sees what I've known all along, that you've been selling all these people and all these kids bullshit. Who gave up in the Elimination Chamber? It wasn't me. You'll never see CM Punk give up on his dreams of main eventing WrestleMania. Ironically, Mr. Don't Quit, Mr. Don't Give Up, you gave up on yourself. You gave up on all of these people. You gave up on all those kids. The joke's on you. I'm gonna see you down the road. And I'm gonna get my hands on the both of you bald frauds. And when I do, you're gonna make a wish that I never did.
Oh, shit.
That's the line. You're going to make a wish that I never did.
Oh, no.
Honestly, so the night that this aired, I usually have class, guys. If you don't know, I have lectures at 6 p.m. usually. But I decided to just take the day off from class just to have a day right after work. Like, so it's the Raw after Elimination Chamber. Why not tune in, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was greeted by that absolute like beauty of a man.
Middle-aged and crazy.
Middle-aged and crazy. This guy was dropping lines
Two out of
left,
the
right,
three
and
things.
center.
2
Yeah.
out of the 3 check marks for Michelle. Checks all
Are
the
you kidding?
boxes left there.
Calling them out bald frauds. Like, I just
Make yourself a fake champion. And actually, that's a twofer. That's a twofer because he can also talk about the other 16-time champion that is legitimately a paper champion for most of those title reigns.
But I just think that, like, when we have talked about the promos of like blurring the lines between reality and what's going on in a storyline, that promo did it all, because that was a man who was, I guarantee you, was airing real frustrations about things for sure, 100%.
And it's unfortunate that this match, because the way they're setting this particular matchup now, it's Reigns, it's Rollins, it's Punk. It's going to be a triple threat.
Right.
And I wonder if it's going to be a triple threat to be like a Paul Heyman guy, because I would love to see what Seth Rollins would do as a Paul Heyman guy. But I'm not sure how they're going to book this. But this could main event night 1. It won't, but it could. Because let's be honest, Jey Uso versus Gunther is not main eventing night 1.
Oh, don't say that. Come on.
I can't.
That
It can't. It can't, because right now I'm not buying it.
I know, but as the like, okay, when we're looking at the hierarchy and everything like that, like as a title match,
Well,
That
don't
should
forget.
be.
Well, but don't forget, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre opened WrestleMania Night 1. It did open.
No, I know that. And like I think Chris Jericho was talking about it, that if you're not main eventing, you want a semi-main event or open.
So you know what? I'm okay with Jey Uso versus Gunther as an opener of Night 1.
I wouldn't mind that
I'm
as
okay
an
with that.
opener.
I'm
wouldn't-
okay with that.
You know what? That actually wouldn't be so bad because that could open and then this could really give people like what they want. And like we've been wanting to see CM Punk and Seth Rollins just tear each other apart.
I mean, I know CM Punk wants the main event with a title on the line, with gold on the line. But you know what? I mean, there's still a chance for that. But I mean, this match to me has so much potential to be a show stealer storyline next to John Cena, Cody Rhodes, that I'm intrigued by this. I'm actually intrigued by this storyline a little bit more than I am Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Because Cody Rhodes and John Cena is a tale as old as time. Ultimate babyface versus now the ultimate heel,
Yeah.
who will eventually become the ultimate babyface once again.
Yeah.
But it's like my wife said. My wife put it, this is the ultimate babyface for so long, passing the torch to the next ultimate babyface.
Yeah.
Do I think John Cena is going to win at WrestleMania? Absolutely not. John Cena does not win at WrestleMania. I think John Cena goes on to win at Money in the Bank, win at SummerSlam, carry the title until December when he has that farewell pay-per-view back in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And then that's how John Cena rides off in the sun.
Mhm.
I don't think that Cody Rhodes losing now doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make
Cody
sense at
Rhodes
all,
has to.
no.
He won it at last year's WrestleMania. He has to keep it beyond last year's WrestleMania, or bring it on this year's WrestleMania for a title run to matter. Or else it's just, well, yeah, you beat Roman Reigns, but you couldn't even last a calendar year.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I that to me, it doesn't cement the title reign.
No.
So we're getting off tangent here, but this
I was
promo-
just about to say, look at that. That promo had us talking about now WrestleMania and this and that. The emotion he brought to that, he touched on real things and the way that crowd erupted, they chanted CM Punk, like you guys heard it. Come on, undeniable.
And what about the Easter egg of? Did you notice how he took the Raw logo off the?
Yeah,
microphone?
and he just threw it.
He just threw it away. So
Yeah.
in essence, again, blurring the lines. Yeah,
Yes.
back here, but it's the same song and dance. There may be somebody else behind the chair, but it's the same bullshit that I went through 10 years ago.
That was like the greatest 2 or 3 minutes ever. Like I remember just sitting on my bed, looking at my TV, no way am I watching this right now. This is incredible.
Michelle hasn't smoked in years, but after that, she probably needed a cigarette. Probably needed a cigarette.
I was like, this is amazing. And to open the show, that was perfect. It was perfect.
Well, you know what's perfect?
Oh.
Number 2. Because number 2 segues perfectly. You tie in CM Punk with ultimately the next best promo man in professional wrestling. And I say promo man because this is not a professional wrestler, but this is an owner of a one-time, glorified wrestling company that everyone remembers as a legend and lore now of ECW. This is the man who cemented a black leather trench coat with a baseball cap and a ponytail. This is a man who made the Zach Morris phone more famous than Zach Morris. This is a promo that was cut right after the streak was ended. This was done after WrestleMania 30. This is Paul Heyman's iconic promo of letting everyone know who is the one in 21 and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Paul Heyman, and this is what he fucking does.
And say, I could have been the one to jump from the ring to the octagon. But Daniel Bryan never fought in an octagon. John Cena never fought in an octagon. The Undertaker never fought in an octagon. You know why? They're all wannabes. Brock Lesnar is the one. There's a lot of people who wanted to be the NCAA Division I Heavyweight Champion, the Ultimate Fighting Champion, the Undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion. The Rock never pulled that off. Hulk Hogan never pulled that off. Stone Cold Steve Austin never pulled that off. Know why? They're all wannabes. Brock Lesnar is the one. And then you got a bunch of guys in the locker room last night coming up to me saying, hey, Paul, I could have been the one to break the streak. I could have beaten The Undertaker, so why didn't you? Randy Orton didn't break the streak. Shawn Michaels didn't break the streak. Triple H didn't break the streak. Know why? They're all wannabes. Brock Lesnar is the one, because Brock Lesnar is the one in 21 and 1.
What do you say after that, really?
You don't. You put the episode on pause and you go outside and you have a cigarette. That's what you do.
I think I want Paul Heyman to be my hype man.
I want Paul Heyman to be my best fucking friend. I want to sit down. I want to do a table for 3 with Paul Heyman, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. That's what I want. I want a table, but I want it to be a table for 3 plus 1, so I can be the 1 in the 3 and 1. See what I did there?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's factoids.
I do like that show. That show was fantastic, right?
Table for 3
it was
so
so
underrated.
good.
And it was sad because they really did put together a whole, and it was cool because, yeah, okay, they're eating, whatever, but it was so cool because you got to hear some stories that you never heard before. And it was a show to reminisce. And I really did enjoy it. I love some of the tables for 3. Like, my favorite one was the Shield, obviously, was great. I also liked when they brought back the Nation of Domination. The Rock couldn't be there, but The Rock sent everybody Rolexes.
Nice.
But I believe he gave D'Lo like a fake Rolex because D'Lo was the king of like fake Rolexes.
Amazing.
It was great. But when I think about promos and I think about some of the most iconic moments, to me, this one was special because we were all in awe when the streak ended. And it was something that nobody ever expected. Like, Undertaker's not losing. If you watch any predictions from WrestleMania 30, every YouTuber on the planet, every wrestling fan on the planet, the prediction was, no, the Undertaker's Brock Lesnar's going to take him to the limit, but ultimately the Undertaker would win. Now, if the concussion changed the complexity of that match, I mean, the Undertaker's touched on it, but never really said. This was always supposed to be the moment that was supposed to end the streak. So you could put it on the concussion if you want to, but I mean, everyone's come out and flat out said that this was going to be the moment where the streak did end regardless. So, but the way Paul Heyman cemented the legacy of the streak and how he would go on to use this quote so many times and eventually make this quote his own, saying that he was the one behind the 21 and 1, which is the case. Paul Heyman forever cemented with some of the biggest moments in professional wrestling history. The Undertaker streak ending being one of them. Roman Reigns' iconic close to 4-year title reign is another one. Being the Wiseman, being a Paul Heyman guy. And now we hear whispers of Braun Breaker is working with Paul Heyman, not so much as a Paul Heyman guy, but just working on his promos and his ability, because I guess Braun Breaker is the next man up. This is the guy that they see. And I look at wrestling 10 years from now and I see a Carmelo Hayes versus a Braun Breaker. I look at WrestleMania for 10 years from now, and I look at who's there, and I see that the future is very bright for the WWE and who they're developing in their own stars. And then I look at, legends and future greats, and I see some potential in some of these young kids that they're doing. And it's kind of cool getting to see the whole system start from beginning to end. And, end being the ultimate guy. And you look at who carried the company from 2013 to where we are now. You look at the Roman Reigns, you look at the Seth Rollins, you have to also have Jon Moxley / Dean Ambrose in that conversation, because these were the guys that were developed within the WWE system after they got picked up. So I look at everything that Paul Heyman has touched. Everything that Paul Heyman touched ultimately turns to gold. Now, granted, ECW had its financial woes, but still, the stars and the longevity of the careers that came out of that. And let's not forget, Paul Heyman himself is in the Hall of Fame. RVD, Hall of Fame, right? I mean, these are guys that ECW, the Dudleys, Hall of Fame, the Hardys, Hall of Fame. Well, the Hardys were WWE, but still, they went extreme because they had to. But you look at, well, they're not Hall of Fame yet, but they should be. But you look at all the guys that came out of there. Even Eddie Guerrero had a stint. Rey Mysterio had a stint. They're Hall of Famers. You look at anybody that kind of had a stop off in ECW. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, they all are Hall of Famers because of having great careers, but also they have Paul Heyman sprinkled in there at one point or another. So I'm going to say that Paul Heyman makes a Hall of Famer. That's how I'll put it. That's my stance. And Paul Heyman is our number 2 spot. And you can't talk about great promos without having Paul Heyman on this list. And Paul Heyman is great at that because he's not a wrestler. He's a mouthpiece. He's who you want in your corner. If you can't talk like a Roman Reigns, they put you with somebody who can. So you walk the walk, but that person's going to talk the talk for you.
Yeah.
And now, without further ado, the biggest moment ever. The number 1 spot. There's no pressure here, but there is.
Oh my God.
There's ultimate pressure. And Michelle has a daunting task of trying to outdo Paul Heyman.
So, you know what's hilarious, actually, that last promo with Paul Heyman and my pick for number 1 actually have something in common. They both have Brock Lesnar standing in the ring saying absolutely nothing.
Brock Lesnar does his best work, really. He does. That or when he's getting pictures sent to him on his phone from Vince McMahon being named in lawsuits.
But
Grant.
my promo it comes from No Way Out 2004.
We really did go we didn't go too far. We went 2 in the 90s, 1 in the early 2000s, 1 in the mid 2000s, and 1 recently.
Yeah.
So I would say we had
a nice little mix.
We had about a good 30 to almost 40 years of decency spread out.
You know what? I gotta say, when we do these episodes, I do like to spread them out. I don't want to choose only current things unless it is something to do, like our top 5 is something current. But when it's like so widespread, I really do like to touch on all the different eras. Like, you know, wrestling's been around for a really long time, and you got to give credit where it's due, especially with the ones who paved the way.
Absolutely. I love that. And that's why she's here, ladies and gentlemen. She's not just someone who has an ego. And believe me, if I had pushed record 2 minutes earlier in this episode, you would have fucking heard it. You would have heard it. This is what you would have heard. Oh my God. Like, my eyebrows look amazing. My skin I look amazing. And then she looks over at me and she says, well, at least the right side of the screen.
I didn't see that. Oh my God. You know what? I should have.
Ladies and gentlemen, No Way Out promo. It's coming your way. And who does this feature? Did you mention who this
No, I didn't. So I did say Brock Lesnar's here, but his opponent for No Way Out in 2004 was none other than Eddie Guerrero.
Love it.
And I think this would top the list for like a lot of people. Given my 5 and number 3, we can tell that like I want someone who's going to bring the emotion. I want someone who's going to blur the lines, bring in things from reality, but tie it into what we're here for now. And I think this promo encompasses everything that I look for when I'm like, I want to be pulled into something. This was it. So
this promo was great. The 5 minutes beforehand, slightly borderline racism from Brock Lesnar. I mean, I'm just gonna, if nobody knows this promo, you can search it up, but I'm just gonna say this 3 words: Brock Lesnar sombrero. I'm gonna leave it alone at that. There also is a mariachi band. Yeah, a lot of things go off the rails, but without further ado, this is where the promo gets fired. Everything leading up to it was wow, it was borderline offensive.
Well, Brock talks a little bit before Eddie does, and then Eddie has to like kind of step in and
save everything
a little bit.
I am an addict. See, Brock, about 3 years ago, Holmes, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, vato, your home state. That's right, vato. In the shower, in the locker room. Oh, man, I was high, bro. I was high. And I don't remember much about that night, I said, but what I do remember, they carried me out of that arena and they carried me straight into rehab. Day by day, by the grace of God,
I have earned my way back into this ring, man. Day by day, by the grace of God, I have earned the respect of my kids again. Day by day, I have earned my life back. And see, Holmes, when I stand across you and I see that across your waist, you know what that symbolizes for me, I say? That symbolizes for me, I'm sorry. That's my way of telling my family I'm sorry. That's my way of telling my kids I'm going to provide a better way of life for them. I'm going to get the bikes that they wanted. I'm going to give them a better education. That's my new addiction, home. See, when I step into this ring, yeah, bro, I am addicted. I'm addicted to the high that I get from them. I'm addicted to the high that I get when I go home and I tell my family, hey, I'm doing it.
And then it just goes from there, and it's just it continues
Yeah.
to be fire. But
Yeah.
you could. I will say this: all three of your promos did definitely blur the lines. There was definitely real emotion, in all of them. But yeah, like to go that deep, to do like, I lost my wife, I lost my kids, I lost my family, I lost my job, um, and the fact that he even remembered where he was and how high he was in Brock Lesnar's home state, and the entire time Brock Lesnar's just there, and he's like grinning and smiling, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't really get that, but that's because he was just socially awkward, so it makes total sense. But regardless, Eddie definitely saved this segment, and Eddie made this segment memorable. I actually posted this promo months ago on my shorts. I did like a short reel of this promo, like recapping it, because it's one of those promos that I really did remember, and it's a fire promo. So yeah, as far as I would go, I would say well done, excellent choices.
Thanks.
And yeah, this promo was fire, and there's so much more meat and potatoes left on that promo. but
Yeah, yeah, because
we
he
didn't
turns
want
it
to play it
around.
for all.
Yeah,
We want
yeah.
just us here in silence, with a
'Cause
tear in our eyes.
I mean, he does it so perfectly because he does say, "Yeah, man. Yeah, I was high. I had to go to rehab. I lost my wife, my kids, my job. I lost myself. I had to hit rock bottom. But now I'm an addict for different things. Now I'm an addict to show them that, like, they can trust me, that I'm reliable, that I can provide for them, that he touches on so many things that I know, like, so many parents hearing that, and like just people who are working to provide for somebody else, or really like hold on those strings. Before coming to record this episode, I was just refreshing the promos in my mind and like rewatching them, and like that one like will always bring me to tears almost, because it's just so real, of somebody who was like, dude, I was at the bottom, man, and now I'm climbing my way up to the top, and like nothing's gonna stop me from getting back up there.
Absolutely, it's one of those promos that you can look at from both perspectives. You can look at it from a perspective of pro wrestling, but you can also look from a perspective of life. I've had a lot of challenges. I get into trouble all the time because my mouth writes checks faster than my ass can cash. And I don't mean like physical violence. I just mean I'm quick-witted, and which is awesome, but it's also a downfall and a detriment, especially when your boss has a small penis and a big ego.
Oh my god.
So again, I'm taking shots all kinds at my shoot job. But regardless of the fact, yeah, I've been at rock bottom myself with not so much addiction problems, but definitely with mental health challenges. And there's always better. It's hard sometimes to remember that there's always better, but there is always better. And sometimes you just got to realize that the end all be all is not the end all be all if you want it to be more than that. You just got to try to fight for it in any way. And that may be, seeking help, seeking a hand, or maybe simply as just coming here and listening to us talk about wrestling. That's how you segue back into that. I'm so good. So good. All right, but that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Whoop.
Great promos. This episode probably ran a little bit long, but the banter was good. Who cares? Life is life. This is awesome. As always, I'm your host, your boy George Mackay. You can follow all my social on Straight Talk Wrestling. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening to us anywhere on all podcast platforms, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know your promos. Put the links in the description. We'll watch them. We'll talk about it. And if you guys have any show ideas, throw them our way. The top 5 is not always going to be a top 5 that has to be something that we came up with the concept. If you want to hear our thoughts on something, let us know. Michelle, shout out your socials real quick.
Michelle Arujo, _. But I mean, you can really find me anywhere if you're really looking. Okay, don't give me that weird face. Oh my God.
About yeah, like guys, you can find phone number on any bathroom stall.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not hard. Like, you tag me in these. Like,
I do.
Oh my God, why did you have to make it weird?
I made it weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, but who says that? You can find me anywhere if you're looking. This is the ego that I'm talking about, people. This is what I'm talking about. And if you're on YouTube, yes, do her eyebrows look well shaped? Sure. But God damn it.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your time, everyone who took the time to listen to this today and made it this far.
If you made it this far, thank you so much.
You made it this far.
A golf clap for you guys. Golf clap, yes, golf clap. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are the funnest duo out there right now. The shots that never. I can't wait until we get to like the 1-year anniversary of the show.
Oh my God.
You know what we're going to do on the 1-year anniversary of the show? I'm going to say it now. We're not going to do an episode of Top 5. What we are going to do is the roasts of George and Michelle. We're going to get fans. We're going to get fellow podcasters to throw in some dirt. We're also going to throw in some dirt on each other. And it's just going to be, like the roast of Tom Brady, but without Tom Brady. And that's even better.
I'm going to make you cry.
I'm going to make you cry.
You can't. I don't have feelings.
Well, that was kind of all right, guys. This shit just got weird. As always, peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you guys next week.
Yo, we just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's at the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side.